Hello and welcome to Design Boss Dialogue, the podcast where bold and ambitious women in interior design come for real conversations to transform and take their businesses to new heights. I am your host, Lisa Marie Elkhadraoui, interior designer and business mentor, here to share my experiences and insights into running an interior design business, as well as empowering you to build the confident, profitable design business you've been dreaming of and truly deserve. In this space, we blend creativity with strategy to help you craft your success and thrive in the world of design. Every episode is packed with unfiltered, no BS conversations, daily inspiration, and actionable business tips to turn your passion into a thriving, cash-rich business. Together, we're redefining what it means to succeed in the interior design industry, one intentional, game-changing decision at a time. So get ready to step up, elevate, and create the design empire you've always envisioned. We are opening the door to day 11 in our Advent Calendar podcast. And today I am joined by Kirsty, who is a subconscious and mindset coach for women, guiding them to close the gap between who they are now and the women they aspire to become. And through subconscious recoding and nervous system rewiring, Kirsty helps women confidently create and sustain greater success, wealth, and abundance in both their lives and their businesses. And today, we're going to be diving into how to embody the version of who you want to become and that next level you, and uncovering the toolkits that you need to start 2026 in the best way forward. Oh, Kirsty, it is so lovely to have you on today's podcast. It is day 11. We're opening the 11th door, and I cannot wait to dive into today's conversation all about higher self.
I'm so excited. Me too. It's one of my favourite bits of work to support women in doing.
I think, when I first heard about higher self work, it was most probably about 2 to 3 years ago. And it was something completely new to my world. Like, I really hadn't ever heard of higher self or visionary work. So for the listeners that might be listening to this thinking, oh gosh, what are they going to talk about today? Can you, in a roundabout way, give us what is higher self and what are we going to be talking about?
So the higher self is the vision of you that you would like yourself to be. But it's not only what you look like, it's how you feel, the life that you lead. So it's kind of like, the way I say it is, if you could take away all limitations that you put on yourself right now, who would you be, Lisa? What would you be doing with your day? Who would you be seeing? What would you be feeling? What would you be wearing? And really don't let go with this imagination. And that is higher self-worth work. It's thinking about a version of you that you aren't yet, but who you would like to be.
Oh, I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it's great work. It's something that some people can't get their heads around because it seems very, as an adult, we lose our imagination. When we're children, we're always, we don't put any limitations on ourselves. But as we grow older, because of the experiences we go through, we do. And so therefore, we don't allow ourselves to open up to another side of us. So for me, it is just about thinking about the person that you want to become. And just really talk today about what that looks like, exercises that you can do, and just practical exercising and very simple ones to do. It's not half an hour a day of doing something that's easy to fit in your routine.
I love this. Okay, so let's dive in. So for our followers that are going to be taking these exercises into 2026, and for women listening thinking, oh gosh, I really want to change my state, to change the results and change my story. I really want to, experience a different level of businesswoman or woman, or find my character or find myself again. So for someone new to this world that might want to start practicing what higher self work could look like, talk me through some basic exercises or toolkits that we could give women that they could start implementing literally before Christmas. I mean, they could be a new woman before Christmas. Do you think that's realistic?
100%.
I
It's
love
making
this.
a start, like you say, just small steps. The first thing I would say to do is just write down, as if you were writing a story of what you would like that future version of you to look like. As we
Okay.
said, what they feel, what they're doing. So just write, free flow. Don't think, oh, actually, maybe I can't do that because I don't have the resources right now, or maybe that's not me. Go with it. Like, have some fun. Write down firstly who she is. And then every single day, so again, this is for the people that haven't done it before, every single day, just visualize in a couple of minutes what she looks like. And then as you progress onto that, I want you to start to learn to connect with a feeling that she is experiencing. So it's all about energy and frequency work, which might be quite new to some of the listeners. And that is all about getting in the vibration, the energy, the excitement, I try and explain it, that the woman is going to be having wherever she is down the line. But connect with that emotion. So if she is standing on stages, if that's what future you wants to do, really think about how magnetic and alive you would feel if you were stood on that stage, and connect with that feeling just for 2 minutes every single day.
Oh, I love that. I think that can be such a powerful tool in itself, because we're naturally speaking to our subconscious. And we are trying to raise our energetic vibrational state internally and align ourselves with the goals that we want to have further down the line. So standing in that visual state, actually really still and calm, and feeling that can be something quite powerful. And I know that when I spoke to someone on last year's podcast, they were saying that a lot of the big founders of businesses craft in 30 minutes into their diary of being still and thinking in creative time for visualization. And I thought that is such a powerful tool to be able to actually schedule in. So for the women listening, it's a non-negotiable. Let's get those, like, even 5 minutes scheduled into their diary of visualizing who they want to be.
Yeah. And you know what? If you haven't got 5 minutes to sit, I mean, we probably all could, but for me, I find it very powerful to do it on a walk, because when I'm sitting, it's harder to get the cells moving in your body as if you were out on a walk. So I get my AirPods in and I put some powerful music on. There's a few that I have from a film.
Oh,
And
I love this.
I find that I walk faster. And as I'm walking faster, I'm smiling. And as I'm smiling, sometimes it brings tears to my eyes, because I have literally just got into that frequency with the person that I want to be. So yeah, you can do it on the way home from the school run if you're doing that, or if you ran out of milk in the middle of the day and you need to pop up to the shop. Don't get in the car, walk there, and that's done. And I think if you do it when you're being active, you will find it much more of a different experience than if you are sat doing it at home.
Do you know, I love the way you just said music there, because for me, I do that. I have Lady Gaga, Born This Way. That is one of my kind of power plays. I bloody love that woman. And just the energy of that music alone, and the visualizations that I create with, like, my higher self and connecting into that feeling, it is so powerful. So I love the fact that, you do that too. You get out there, you move, you get that powerful music on, and you connect with the higher self. So realistically, women don't have to be sitting still like you and I do. They can be getting out, going for walks, even, I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes when I'm doing the food shopping and I've got my AirPods in my ears going round, like with my Lady Gaga in the vegetable aisle, getting a bit out of control with the trolley. Dancing
around the aisle with the trolley.
Literally with oranges and grapes. It's like a scene out of Club Tropicana. Staff are like, what has she taken this morning? I need more of that. But you could do it anywhere. And it's such a lovely Mindful exercise.
Yeah. I mean, if you commute on the train, like, God, I used to do it years ago and it's so boring. Like,
Yes.
I think if you could just find the pockets of time in your day that you really find quite dull. For me, lunch boxes. I hate doing the girls' lunch boxes,
Oh,
but I will
yeah.
stick some music in and I will use that as a visualization moment. It takes me 2 minutes, but again, it's finding these pockets of time and actually making a bit of joy out of the boring things in life as well. To not only like raise the frequency, but also use it as an opportunity to connect with your higher self. Because what happens when you do that regularly is that things start to unfold and parts of your life that you didn't realize you might want to go into will start coming into your mind because you're raising that, you're building up confidence in yourself. You're thinking,
Mm,
well, actually, maybe I could go and do a podcast. Well, maybe I could go and go for this promotion at work. So it has such a positive effect. It's not just sitting there thinking, oh, future Kirsty's going to be wearing red suits every day and going to meetings. It's like, no, like she's going to be powerful, and that's
yeah.
what you want to create.
I love that. I think so. When I had my visionary event in January, the very first one at the beginning of the year, I had so many lovely women come to it. And Lucy Ann, who is our sound bath and crystal Reiki healer, who does the afternoon session after we do the mood boards and creating your highest self visions in the morning. This lovely lady, she went through the process of the sound bath and the meditation, kind of deepening her visualization. And then I met her most probably 4 months after the event. And she turned around and said, I just want to thank you so much. I've quit my corporate role and I've started my own business off the back of your event. And I visualized the experience of what that would look like and how to do it. And she said it was the biggest breakthrough that she's ever had. And I think it's so important to expose women to these toolkits and educate them as well. So upon like journaling and visualization, what are your other toolkits that you love to do to kind of connect with your higher self? Or what do you teach in your kind of methodologies with your clients?
So for me, movement's quite a big thing. I encourage women to, as we've said, get some music on and just dance. And dance like a fool. I think there was an advert a while ago where it's like, it's dance where nobody's watching. And that kind of thing as well. It's that movement in your body. And that's something that I always encourage women to do. Obviously, again, the journaling. And also, this can be tricky and it depends how you feel with this kind of thing. But I always sort of say, if you can go into a place where you can go and look on somebody's Instagram and explore what they're doing, but do it in a way that you're not going to compare yourself, that can actually be a very powerful tool because
Mm,
somebody else is showing you what's possible for you. And don't go into the comparison side, but look and think, okay, how is she doing that? And that's also a really good way for you to start the small steps towards doing it as well.
mm,
But again, we have to be careful because I think we do get stuck in that, oh, she's doing that and I'm not. But
yeah.
it's something, if you are in a place to do that, I do that. And I find that really, really useful to see that people are holding events or they're doing these certain things in their business that I know my higher self wants to. And then another thing that I do as well is I have sticky notes all over my desk, positive affirmations, things that my higher self will be doing as well. And you are a great podcaster or something, or you hold a fantastic space for women. And just I'm filling my mind with all of these positive words, positive thoughts, because that is what the subconscious needs. In order for you to become the higher self, your subconscious has to be taught and untaught
Yeah.
the stories that we've been told, but it needs to be taught some new stories. And that's what just reading these every single day helped me to do as well.
I love that. It's basically fine tuning your mind to the positive
Yeah.
narrative and turning the dial down with the negative narrative because there is so much negativity out there. And I think it's
Mm-hmm.
really easy to kind of wake up and start filling our mind with scrolling, comparisonitis, doubt, and then, I've got a million and one things to do. I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. And before you know it, your subconscious part of your brain in those early hours of waking up in the morning, they are so fragile and fresh. And that's the best time, as well as, 2 to 3 hours after, and the afternoon and the evening time to really retain this information and to talk to it. And it's so easy to fall into the doom kind of hole with negative, isn't it?
Yeah, very. I've got a very lovely morning routine. Now, I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. They're up at 6:15.
Yes.
So I've created this little ritual that I can do in the morning, sort of with around the children. So as you say, I don't touch my phone until about 7:45, 8 o'clock. Because like you said, our brain is so in that prime state. So I wake up, I will do, when the kids are sort of playing, I will do a 10-minute visualization with my headphones on. So whether that be a money one, whether it be success. Again, I go with what my body needs that day. Sometimes I might feel that I need something, that's going to be more empowering. Sometimes I'm in the, right, I need to go into this, I'm in the strong money mode and I'll listen to that. So again, I just follow my body and then I write 3 gratitudes. And I also have just a small A5 page, which I have written what my future self will be having and holding. And I read it every single day and I think about it. And that's it. It takes me 15 minutes to do that, but that set up my day in a positive way. I've also connected with my future self. I know what I'm aiming for. And I've already got those positive emotions buzzing around my body just before I've even got my feet out of bed.
I love that. I think it's so important to be able to, practice that daily gratitude, like you've just said.
Yeah.
So for women that might not understand daily gratitude, and I'm trying to really break it down for the listeners that might be completely new to this, and we'll have listeners that are avid listeners that are in our worlds that understand what higher self, because we're always talking about higher self. But for the listeners that might be completely new to this, what does practicing daily gratitude look like?
So
in layman's terms.
Let's bring it down.
Let's bring it all the way down.
Let's bring it all the way to basics. Gratitude is just being thankful for anything. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Sometimes I'm thankful that my feet are warm every night. And it's just thinking of all the different things that you have in your life that make your life better, enhance your life, and just saying thank you for it. But it's not just thank you for my toothbrush. It's thank you. The way that I kind of imagine it is if my daughter came home from school and, they give me their junk modeling or a picture they've drawn of me, the way that I say thank you to her is the way that I give my gratitude. That real heartfelt thank you. Yeah. And that's it. It's very, very basic. You can do 3 gratitudes in the morning, or for me, I'm very good at when I run the tap for a glass of water, thank you for this water, and just constantly saying thank you, because gratitude is the highest vibration. It's with love. And when you're at that higher vibration, then that is when opportunities and all the things that you're manifesting will start to come into your life, because you're showing gratitude, you're being thankful for everything that you've got now.
I love that. So if I'm going to kind of counteract this as well. So if a woman is in a state of lots of self-limiting beliefs and she is feeling a little bit down, a little bit negative, and she's finding it really hard to practice gratitude because she doesn't quite believe it, because things are just not aligning for her. So she's stuck in this kind of rut.
Yeah.
In order, yes, we have to practice daily gratitude to raise our frequency and for the universe to be able to say, well, she's practicing gratitude. She's thankful for that. So we're going to give her more abundance because she's already thankful for what she has. What do the women have to be doing on this side with the self-limiting beliefs and working on this to be able to really create a higher vibrational tone over here to meet that higher self? What does this side look like?
So firstly, I get that. And there are times in all of our lives where, you feel like you're saying thank you for something and it's just coming from an empty place. So I would just say in those moments, the first thing to do is give yourself some compassion, because you are in a place where maybe you're not happy at the moment. So just give yourself compassion. And then any sort of thoughts, limiting beliefs that come up for you, just notice them, but without any judgment. So if you are, for example, if you're doing something and you think, oh, do you know, I'm so stupid. Just notice that that's a way that you're speaking to yourself, and try and take a step back. I also like to say to people, in a way of trying to sort of change the way that they speak to themselves, is, would you speak to your best friend that way? And whenever I say something to myself that's negative, I think about my best friend and I think, gosh, I would never say anything like that to her. So I think we need to try and catch our thoughts in those moments, but ultimately just have some awareness and don't be judgmental, because I like to say everything has a shelf life, and where you are now isn't going to be like that forever. But in those moments, just have that self-compassion and self-love. Practice some nervous system work. The best thing you can do is just to ground yourself, your feet into the ground, and just breathe. Hand on your heart. I'm safe in this moment, because ultimately the most important moment is the present moment. And we do catastrophize, we do overthink because things aren't going the way that we want it to. But in that present moment, you are safe. And it's just a way to remind yourself of that.
I love that. I think that is such an important taking away from this podcast as well, that, it's really important to give yourself compassion, how you talk to yourself, looking at the narrative, as well as, like you say, speak to yourself how you would expect someone to speak to you, or how you would speak to your best friend, or, your best friend would speak to you. So it's really, I think that's such a lovely tip and piece of value to be able to support then the gratitude and the higher self work. So you have an amazing guide that talks all about higher self. Explain more and how women can get access to that.
Yep. So if you are new to subconscious work, or you do know a little bit about it and want to learn more, then yes, I've created a 20-minute workshop that just explains about what the subconscious mind is, because ultimately that has a massive influence into our higher self. And then it kind of will explain to you what the subconscious mind is, how we need to rewire it for success and abundance and wealth, and how we can just notice these beliefs that come up all the time, because we have a lot of them, and how to rewire them. So how to change them to something that's going to be more empowering to becoming the person that you want to be. So yes, is a really good workshop, and something that I really, really enjoyed doing, because I love subconscious work. I love higher self work, and I really am passionate about supporting women to become the best version of themselves.
I love that. It's like unlocking their next level self, like their true self, who they know they want to be and who they ultimately deserve to be as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it's in layers. You were always going to be stripping off layers. When you do inner work, it takes consistency, as you know, because you do it yourself. It takes consistency. It takes time. It's not going to happen after a week or 2 weeks. I've been on this journey for 3.5 years, and I am constantly shedding layers. But if you stick to it, you feel like the most amazing person in the world. You go from a version of yourself that maybe you didn't like so much, that was maybe lost. I'm talking about myself here. To becoming somebody that's like, do you know what? I'm going to impact a lot of women, and I'm going to make a change to this world. And it's just regular daily work, and it doesn't have to take a lot. But rewiring your subconscious mind is one of the first steps.
It's that habitual discipline to be able to implement that daily to support your internal state. Because also with business, I always used to think it was always strategy, and never about energetics or internal. And then obviously several years ago, when I started exposing my mind to the internal energetic work that you had to do, and then exposing to higher self and learning about frequency and energy that we vibrate. And also, being in a 3D world and us operating up in a 5D world where our energy is actually a lot more of a higher state. I then found that the true shifts in business actually happen with the internal state of what we're doing to ourselves daily that then have such a massive impact externally.
Yeah, definitely. You could have two people with the same strategy. One will fly with that strategy. The other one will kind of stay where they are. And that will be only based on the beliefs that they have about themselves. And you can fly with the strategy, but you just have to work through the beliefs. And if you don't address them, you will self-sabotage, and it's unconscious. And this is what I see so many women do. They're not getting anywhere. And then they start to then show them that they can't do it. And then they talk to themselves terribly. And then it just perpetuates this circle. And it's like, okay, let's break the cycle, because what's actually stopping you is the belief that you hold about yourself that you can't do it. So let's work on that. And then you can go with the strategy, because it is the beliefs that hold you back.
So before we finish the podcast, what would the final lasting thought, parting thought that you would like to give our lovely listeners and followers? Any more advice for taking into 2026 about their higher selves or what they need to be doing? If a woman could take one thing away more than what you've given today, what would that be?
I would say create your future self and do everything you can to flood your subconscious mind with the things that she needs. Change the music you listen to. Change the podcast that you listen to if they're not something that's empowering. Read influential literature every day. Choose the right books, because what you'll be doing is that you'll be teaching your subconscious mind that it is possible for you. And when you see evidence of other people doing it, then you can see that you're able to also do it too. But you need to fill your mind with all sorts of happy, positive things. And just remember, there are going to be days where maybe you're just not feeling it, and that's absolutely fine. But just do something tiny. If you feel resistance, there's a reason behind it. And it's even more of a reason to keep going with this inner work.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much, Kirsty. And obviously, Kirsty is going to be giving us the link to her workshop that you can download and access immediately if you head to the show notes. And we're going to be putting Kirsty's Instagram and social media handles as well as her website. So you're going to be able to go and learn more about Kirsty and what she does and the work she does and connect with her as well. Obviously, the podcast is going to be going up on our socials. So if you've listened to today's podcast and you want to say hi to Kirsty and myself, then share it on your socials. Get everyone else involved. But Kirsty, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on to today's podcast.
No worries. I've absolutely loved talking about higher self-work. Like you, it's one of my favorite things to do.
I love it. We could sit and talk about higher self all day long.
100%. I definitely could. I should have bought myself a cup of tea.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been so lovely to have you on. So lovely. And I can't wait to invite you back onto the podcast in 2026, where we'll dive more into higher self-work and what that involves, and also see some of the breakthroughs. If you are listening to this, if you practice higher self-work between now and even January, you want to come and meet Kirsty in person. We are having the most amazing strategy and soul visionary event in Birmingham on the 9th and 10th of January up in Birmingham at the Hotel Devon. The details of the event are in the show notes, and you can come and speak to Kirsty. She's going to be actually giving a workshop on higher self on Saturday, the 10th of January, which is going to be amazing. But thank you to all of our lovely listeners from today's podcast. And I'm going to be back tomorrow with another powerful podcast. Take care. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Design Boss Dialogue. If you love what you heard, then please share the podcast with your friends and any women that could do with a dose of empowerment just from me. I would love to hear your thoughts around today's podcast with your key takeaways and wins, because your feedback means everything to me. Also, don't forget to leave a review as well as hit that follow button so you never miss out on any inspiring conversations with me or any other trailblazing women I have on. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes, and remember, unleashing your inner design power and unlocking your true potential is only a click away. See you next time.